I'm a 50 years old woman, and I want to tell you the story of my life. A story full of secrets, love, loss, and forgiveness. For years, I thought I had the perfect life. A loving husband, a good boy, a beautiful home, and a future I could trust. But life always doesn't go as we plan. One night, one choice, one lie can change everything forever. People say time heals everything, but some pain stays forever. Some wounds don't close. This is the story of that night. The night I became a mother, and the night I lost my daughter, or at least I thought I did. My name is Melanie, and this is the story of the secret I never knew for many years. I was 23 years old when I got pregnant. My husband, Robert, was a doctor. He worked as a gynecologist and surgeon. The ultrasound said we were having twins, a boy and a girl. We were so happy, so excited. We started preparing the baby room together. We bought everything in pairs. One blue, one pink. Blue for the boy, pink for the girl. We filled the room with toys. A ball, a car, a doll. Everything small, everything cute, everything full of hope. Robert took great care of me. He was kind. He was loving. He loved me deeply, and I loved him with all my heart. We decided to name our son Paul and our daughter Bonnie. Everything was perfect. Life was bright. The world looked beautiful and full of dreams. Then finally, that night came, the night I will never forget. The pain started, sharp and constant. They took me to the hospital quickly. I couldn't have a normal delivery, so they decided to do a C-section. Robert and his medical team took me into the operating room. They delivered the babies safely. Hours later, when I woke up, I could finally speak. The first thing I said was, "Robert, I want to see our babies." He smiled softly and said, "They are in the care unit right now. You need to rest, my love." I was tired, weak, and soon fell asleep again. The next morning, they brought my baby boy to my room, my sweet little Paul. I held him in my arms and kissed his tiny face. My heart was full of joy. Then I looked at Robert and said, "Now give me my daughter too. I want to hold Bonnie." But Robert's eyes filled with tears. He turned away, trying to hide his face. Fear filled my heart. My voice shook as I asked, "Robert, what happened? Where is Bonnie?" He came close, held me tightly, kissed my forehead, and whispered through his tears, "Melanie, we lost her. Bonnie couldn't make it. She didn't survive." I couldn't believe what I heard. My body was shaking. My heart stopped. I cried and cried until I had no voice left. "No, Robert, no. Please tell me it's not true," I said. But he just held me tighter, tears in his eyes. He said nothing more. And that silence, that long, heavy silence, broke something inside me. For days, I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. I just lay in bed, holding Paul close, feeling his tiny heartbeat, trying to be grateful for the baby I still had. But in my heart, there was a hole, a big, empty space where my daughter should have been. I wanted to see her face. Just once, just one look. But Robert said it was better not to. She was weak, he told me. She was very small. You wouldn't want to remember her that way. I tried to believe him. I tried to move on. I told myself maybe he was right. Maybe it was better this way. But deep inside, a mother always knows. Something didn't feel right. Sometimes at night, I thought I heard a baby cry. A soft sound far away like a dream. I would wake up, my heart racing. But there was only silence, only darkness. Robert worked more and more after that. He stayed late at the hospital. He said it helped him forget. He said he needed to be busy. I tried to understand. I tried to be a good wife, a good mother. But our home felt different. It was quiet, too quiet. One baby crying, one baby gone. Paul grew stronger every day. He smiled, he laughed. He filled my arms with love. But every time I looked at him, I saw her too, the twin he would never know, the sister he would never meet. Whenever he played, I wished Bonnie was alive too, so they could play together. In my mind, I saw them playing, laughing, and fighting. For a few moments, I felt happy with that picture. But the truth always pulled me back to reality. Years passed, but the pain stayed. I stopped asking questions. Robert never spoke about that night again. Every time I tried, he said, "Melanie, please, let's not go back there." So I stopped, but I never forgot. I never stopped wondering. We moved to another house, a bigger one. Robert said it was time for a new beginning. But no house, no wall, no place could hide the emptiness inside me. Paul grew up sweet, curious, full of life. He was my sunshine in the dark. Every time he laughed, I felt alive again. But sometimes I looked at him and thought, he should have had a sister. I imagined them together, playing, laughing, fighting, hugging. I could see it so clearly in my mind. It felt so real that sometimes I forgot she was gone. Robert became quiet, distant. He smiled less and less. Sometimes I found him sitting alone at night, holding something small in his hands, an envelope or a picture maybe. When I asked what it was, he said, "Just work, Melanie. Go to sleep." I didn't know that he was hiding something from me. I didn't know he was keeping our daughter's secret locked away. I thought he was just tired, but it wasn't tiredness. It was guilt. Guilt that lived inside him every day. Guilt that he carried like a shadow. Many years passed, more than 20 years. Paul was grown, living his own life. I was older, quieter, lonelier. And Robert, he was a different man. He had changed. He didn't laugh anymore. He didn't talk much. His hair had turned gray. His eyes always looked tired. Then one winter night, I went into his office to bring him tea. He was sitting at his desk, looking at something in his hands, something that made him cry. He quickly hid it when he saw me. I didn't ask. I was afraid to know. A few months later, Robert died suddenly. He died suddenly. It happened so fast, I couldn't believe it. No warning, no goodbye. My world stopped. Everything changed in 1 second. I felt lost and empty. He was gone forever. My heart broke into pieces. The house felt empty and cold. I cried for him. I cried for all the years we had lost to silence. But I didn't know then that death would bring me truth. The truth he had hidden from me for so many years. The truth that had changed him for all those years. A secret he had carried alone. When I cleaned his office, I found a small envelope in his drawer. On it he had written my name, for Melanie. I opened it with shaking hands. Inside were photographs, dozens of them. A little girl, her smile bright, her eyes warm, her face familiar. She looked like Paul. She looked like me. She looked like us. My hands trembled. My eyes filled with tears. And then I saw the note. Her name is Bonnie. She's alive. I thought I was protecting you, but I was wrong. My dear Melanie, please forgive me. I did it only to protect you. Our little girl, Bonnie, was born with Down syndrome. I was afraid you couldn't handle it. You had to care for another baby too. It was too much for you, but don't worry. I sent Bonnie to a safe place. She has been well cared for. She is living her life. Remember, I love you very much. I couldn't breathe. I fell to the floor. My daughter, my Bonnie, was alive. I couldn't stop crying. My heart was full of hope and pain. Every night, I dreamed of her face. I looked at the sky and whispered her name, Bonnie. I asked myself, does she know about me? Days turned into weeks. I searched everywhere. I followed every clue, every name, every picture. Sometimes I felt close. Sometimes I felt lost again. But I never gave up. A mother's heart always knows. It took months to find her. The letters, the photos, the names, they all led me to one woman, Caroline, the nurse who had helped me give birth that night. I found her house. I learned about her life. People said she lived with a young woman. My heart told me that girl was my Bonnie. I watched the house from far away. I wanted to run to her, but I was scared. I didn't know what to say after all these years. I stood at the door, shaking. Caroline opened the door. I saw kindness in her eyes. She said, You must be Melanie. I couldn't speak. I just nodded. And then I saw her, a young woman sitting by the window, painting. Her hair golden in the light, her smile soft and pure. She turned, and in that moment, my heart stopped again. Bonnie, I whispered. She looked at me, then smiled, then ran into my arms, and I held her, and cried, and laughed, and cried again. I touched her hair, her face, her hands. She was real. She was mine. She was a part of me. It didn't matter if she was not like other children. It didn't matter if raising her was hard. It didn't matter if I had to give her my whole life. She was my heart. She was my daughter. Why did Robert hide her from me? Why did he think it was better for me? I held her tightly in my arms. I cried loudly. Caroline stood behind us, crying too. She said, "She's had a good life, Melanie. I loved her like my own." I turned to her. I looked at her kind face. I took her hand and said, "Thank you, Caroline. Thank you for saving her." That day, after all the years of pain and silence, my family became whole again. We were not perfect, but we were a family once more. Now, when I sit by the window, I think of that night so long ago. The night I became a mother twice, once to life and once to loss. I don't hate Robert anymore. He made a terrible mistake, but he was afraid, not cruel. He wanted to protect me. He didn't know that the pain of loss is harder than any other pain. He didn't know that secrets hurt more than truth. Bonnie visits often now. Paul loves her too. We sit together, drink tea, and laugh like the years never passed. We sit together, drink tea, and laugh like the years never passed. I tell them how I always imagined them growing up together in my mind. Sometimes Bonnie looks at me and says, "Mom, are you happy now?" And I smile through my tears and whisper, "Yes, my love, finally I am." This was the story of my life, full of ups and downs. I hope everyone learns one day. Every person deserves a normal life, no matter their disabilities or differences. And the power of love can overcome all pain and hardship.
Dear friends, do you want to improve your listening skills? Do you want to learn grammar easily? Do you want to learn new words inside real sentences? In this channel, we tell real stories slowly and clearly in easy English. Your listening skill will get strong. You can learn new words and make better sentences. Watch the video a second time and repeat each sentence aloud. Your speaking will get great. Please subscribe and turn on the bell to see new videos. Thank you for your likes and comments. We love to hear your ideas for the next stories. Please watch the other videos on the channel too. Thank you.